I think it's fair to say that Hollywood's been having kind of a tough time lately, what with the unspecified virus of unknown origin, shutting down movie theatres, and delaying major releases over the past year, combined with embarrassing revelations about what goes on behind closed doors, and a growing atmosphere of antagonism and hostility between the fine folks of Tinseltown and the customers who ultimately pay their wages. And never were these troubles more obvious than in the ratings for last night's Academy Awards ceremony, which recorded the lowest viewing figures in the show's history, dipping below 10 million for the first time. Damn, it was even worse than last year. And it got me to wondering, how exactly did it come to this? I mean, I'm old enough to remember a time when the Oscars was still an exciting event that had people buzzing with interest and speculation. Yeah, it could all get a little bit self-indulgent and excessive at times, and there probably weren't many people on the edge of their seats wondering which film was going to win Best Sound Design or Best Makeup, but generally speaking, the Oscars were an important barometer for the way the industry was going, and any film that won Best Picture was probably something you should pay attention to. But over time, it all began to change. As the years passed, the atmosphere changed from a celebration of film to a denigration of modern culture. More and more people used their time on the podium to push their hastily concocted political opinions, comment on the social issues of the day, and of course, rail against the Orange Man for some cheap applause. This kind of unwelcome political diarrhea all went hand in hand with demands for nominees to be picked based on their demographic makeup rather than the quality of their work. Great stuff, but the more desperately Hollywood tried to prove how virtuous and socially aware they were, the more we learned about the disturbing abuses of power behind the scenes that so many of them had quietly swept under the rug and turned a blind eye to for years. The end result of all of this was that Hollywood developed a reputation as a clique of arrogant, corrupt, spoiled, out-of-touch narcissists, endlessly lecturing regular people about how to live their lives while conveniently ignoring their own shortcomings, pushing divisive political rhetoric with only a vague understanding of the issues at hand, and self-righteously railing against the very system that pays for their obscenely lavish lifestyles in the first place. So I guess this video is kind of an open letter to anyone in Hollywood who might be inclined to listen. And that being the case, my message is a simple one. Fucking stop this insanity. Stop trying to lecture us. Stop pretending to care about things that you absolutely don't take a minute out of your life to actually support. Stop using your platform as an excuse to push your own political views. Stop trying to inject it into every movie and TV show that you produce. And most of all, stop pretending that you're even intellectually or morally qualified to talk about this stuff. Your entire industry exists for the purposes of entertainment. That's your job. That's your one and only objective. You're there to entertain the paying customer. You're not there to tell them how to live their lives, or which groups of people they should support or condemn, or how the country should be run, or how they should vote in the next election. That is none of your fucking business. And the more you try to do it, the more people you piss off in the process. It's no secret that the past year has been kind of a tough one, and for most people, daily life isn't all that fun or uplifting right now. And that's where you should be in your elements. Entertainment used to provide some much needed escapism from the troubles and cares of the real world. No matter what was going on in our lives, we used to be able to watch a movie or a TV show and just lose ourselves in a different world for a couple of hours. A world that was allowed to be fun, exciting, colourful and uplifting. It was like a little vacation from real life. And when we came back, we usually felt better about ourselves, a little more ready to take on the next challenge that came our way. But not now. Now it seems like every single piece of media produced today has to be saddled with all the baggage and issues and grievances of the real world. There's literally no escape from it anymore. Everywhere we turn, we're bombarded with relentless doom and gloom, or smug lectures about how we need to be better, or thinly veiled attacks hidden behind the mask of righteousness. Do you really think that's what people want or need right now? And what's worse is that all of it comes from people who absolutely aren't in a position to lecture anyone. Believe it or not, I don't entirely blame you for this. You live in a strange little fantasy bubble, safely removed from the real world, and surrounded by people who think just like you, or at least pretend to. People who automatically agree with every dumb thing that you say, and fueled by news and social media that's entirely skewed in one direction. But all that stuff is just as fake as the movies you produce, and the result is that you don't really understand the people you try to pander to. I mean, imagine for a moment that you're a working class family whose business has been shut down for the past year, leaving you struggling just to put food on the table. Every single day is a desperate grind to keep going and make ends meet. Then some multi-millionaire actor who lives in a gated mansion and wears clothes that cost more than your annual salary appears on your TV and starts demanding that you recognise your privilege, do better, and vote for the people they tell you to. Well, how would you react to that? Now perhaps you begin to see why regular people are less and less interested in watching you and your rich friends slap each other on the back for making things that nobody wants to watch and smelling your own farts for several hours. The thing is, you probably think I'm enjoying all of this, that I just want to see Hollywood burn to the ground out of sheer fucking malice. But the truth is the exact opposite. I actually want you to succeed. I want Hollywood to be great again, because I know what you're capable of when you're at your best. You guys have produced some of the most incredible movie experiences of my lifetime. You've put together works of art that have thrilled me with excitement, made my heart pound with suspense, inspired me with wonder, and even brought a tear to my eye. And you've done this same thing to millions of people all across the world, generation after generation. But you're not doing it anymore. You've lost sight of why you exist. You're pushing your own audiences away by trying to force things on them that they don't want, and instead of taking a step back to question whether you're walking the wrong path, your pride and ego compels you to double down again and again. You're like a condemned man digging his own grave and berating his captors for not giving him a bigger shovel. I guess what I'm saying here is that maybe your audience aren't the ones who really need to do better here. Maybe you are. And maybe if you carry on like this, you're gonna learn that lesson the hard way. Anyway, that's all I've got for today. Go away now.